Okay, so myself, Neetu Phillips, and I'm a native of Kerala, and right now I'm in Bangalore working for Infosys, and I have a total of 6 years of experience. My tech stack is Java, Spring Boot, and Microservices, and I have mainly worked on migration projects wherein I used to convert the legacy application into latest Java microservices. And related to domain, I have mainly worked on retail domain, and I had short stints with the banking as well as telecommunication. Right now in Infosys, I'm working with an internal project which is for an employee platform. Herein we get the billing details as well as it helps in the career progression of the employees. So here I act as a developer and also a mentor to a team of 3 to 4 people. And also I am a spoke for multiple modules of the project.
Okay. So, you Java which version used?
1.8.
1.8. So, can you share your screen coding? Here, you are able to see the coding tab.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you share your screen and click on the coding. First, you share your screen.
Okay.
Here I have option share screen sharing option. Just type desktop logo. Just go on the bottom. Okay. So here you click on coding part. You are able to see the coding, video feed and coding. Just to minimize it this.
No, actually, I'll just stop sharing once.
No, but in coding, you see in the down right side is showing change device and
Yes.
left side is showing video feed and coding. Video feed and coding. You are not able to see.
No.
Why?
I can see change devices.
No, change devices. Just you go on bottom left side have video feed coding.
Before sharing, I could see that, but after sharing, I'm not able to see that.
Okay, so let's see. In just one moment, I'm just sharing my screen. I think not able to see that. Right, click. So can you send me request? So here, how will you show? Just you open in full screen, then you will able to see. You are able to see my screen?
No.
Okay. So not a problem. So suppose I will ask you one question regarding to programmatical. Suppose I have a list. Can you note down? Inside the list have A, B, C, D, E, F, G and A, B, C. A, B, C, D, E, F,
This
G.
is inside that list, is it characters?
No, just as a string. Just a
Okay.
string, not I'm telling the character. You can add A, B, C, D, something like that. Okay. Just
Okay.
you write this
Yes.
code.
Okay.
Continue, not interview window.
I
Continue.
just opened my notepad. Where should I put coding?
Okay, so I am just asking regarding to coding part. So
When I click on coding now, it is showing the option is not active yet. This will be active once interviewer adds a question.
interviewer.
Adds a question.
Okay, add the question. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
You see the question? I have add in alert.
Yes.
Are you able to see?
Yes, I can.
So in this code, just we have written simple test class. Here I have public void main method, string text 199, and I am using try text concatenate point 5, and thereafter converting in double. So double dot parse double text double to string, and int status convert into the maths dot cell double dot value of test dot value double value. So here I am just printing system out dot println status and catch block number format exceptions, here invalid number. So what output you expect? Suppose this program compile and run. So first you tell me this number is valid or invalid. If valid, so what output you will get?
Yeah, that will give an invalid number.
How?
Here, actually, the string text is 199. So
Hmm.
when we try to concat again with the number, then it will throw an error.
No, I think not. You are going to correct because of that your value is 199 is a string. Here, if you concatenate point 0.5 decimal, so it will be converted with the new value would be 199.5. So thereafter you convert in double, so it will becomes as a double value, and double to convert in decimal, then you convert into the int because of math dot cell. So cell will take the minimum value of decimal. If value is have zero point 0.5, so it will take as a one incremental value, add in 199. So it will becomes as a 200. If if zero point 0.4 is there, so in that case it will become 199 only. Okay, I am just asking next question. Just one moment. Can you give the answer of this program? Next, edit. You see on the second question.
Does we can say the same question?
Okay, no problem. Just I am question one. Just one moment. One moment. One moment. Oh, sorry. Here can add how to add this question. Just one minute. I am editing and again adding new question. No, no, no. How to get it? Sorry. I am just taking the same question. See now, have a one class public, a simple test here public static void main file system new files slash mbc. This is the path of system. I just want to print system dot get parents and system dot out dot println system dot each file. So what output you will get on these two if you printing?
I'm not sure on the get parent part. Is file would return false.
And get parent path?
That I'm not sure.
Parent path would be MBC. Okay, so now just moving in theoretical part. Okay, so let's see. Just come on this video. So you have told me I am just working microservices, right? Migration of
Yes.
legacy project convert in microservices. So what is the advantage of microservices? What is the disadvantage of microservices?
Microservices means that it will be highly modular and it would be highly scalable. So in case of any issues, they can act as independently and we can have it deployed in a faster manner. So this will be good in a fast-paced environment when we have to develop new features in a quicker and faster pace. And the issue is that the availability of the microservices should be there, and the number of requests that comes to it, that has to be balanced properly. The load balancer should be in place, and also since one microservice it would not be independently working, there will be multiple microservices if you are considering a larger or complex application. So in that case, all of them should be highly available. And also when we are designing those, then we have to keep in mind that this it should not be like waiting for a long time, and it should not end up in giving no response. So those things needs to be considered.
And disadvantage?
Yeah, disadvantages like if we are the one that I just said, like if we have multiple microservices in place, those has to be highly available, and in case we have different microservices that are working together, then we should design it in such a way that one should not wait long for the other, and it should have a proper design pattern, circuit design breaker pattern should be there. Um, and it should be like it also depends upon the application. Uh,
For example, just I tell you, suppose you have 1000 microservices, okay? Any one microservice is going to fail.
okay.
So in that case, how to find which services is going down, how to resolve it, how to find these logs and all kind of things, how to find it.
We should have a tracing in place.
So what kind of tools you will use for tracing the logs? Because of your
Uh,
microservices are deployed in, for example, in uh, cloud server, okay, AWS, and you have used S3, EC2. You aware about cloud?
yes.
So what is EC2
C2, I'm not sure.
and S3?
Not sure.
So suppose any any team is giving you the access of cloud servers just to create an environment. So what kind of things you use, S3 or EC2? How to load balancing? Okay, I think not aware about that. So in Spring Boot, for example, you have worked on an Spring Boot, right?
Yeah.
So why we are using Spring Boot rather than Spring Framework?
So Spring Boot has removed a lot of boilerplate code, and we have things like annotations in place, and also Spring Boot has like we have the dependencies in place, like starter parent, and it has many dependencies which we can directly put it in our form file, and it will handle the beans, and the bean creation will be handled by the Spring Boot application. So the cases where we have to earlier have this any of the databases or database details. Right now, we can just have the details of the DB stored in the application properties or YAML, and we can just use configuration classes. And inside that, we can define the beans that we
So
would.
I am just asking you boilerplate code, right? You telling avoiding the boilerplate code in Spring Boot. So what kind of code you avoiding in Spring Boot?
So earlier we used to have things like XML files wherein we used to have this dependencies defined, and we used to create for this data sources or for this JDBC template, everything we used to have this XMLs in place wherein we used to
No,
define.
but all these things you can define if you are using Spring Boot as well. So here you also need the configuration files. For example, Spring Security and other kind of things you here need to be do. Only database part, if you are using JPA and other things, so cannot be used. So I think simply if you telling about we are avoiding only XML based configuration. So in Spring Boot also have Java based configurations. I'm right.
Yeah.
Correct. So, in Spring Boot, because of it will facilitate some embedded dependencies are there during when you going to some initializer of Spring. uh, you- sites, you can take the all dependencies and you can get the complete package just to deploy it and start the coding. Why? Because of dependencies and other things also need here. If you some external dependency, boot startup, boot web, all these component is required, JPA and everything. But if you not have used this JPA, so how do here externally you need to be at because of you forgetted these dependencies, right? So main advantage is that you can parallelly, if you have to deploy any Spring based applications, you want to change server port. So this is the difficulties. You need to go on the physical server and go inside the configuration files and you just change the port and all kind of things. So that will stuck the our performance, stuck our the business hours. So all kind of things can be avoided through the Spring Boot because of if you have a Spring Boot, so you can just go open the application.property server.port. Here you can change the port of the server. So accordingly, Tomcat will take up the port of that server. If you are using cloud and where, so you can unbound that port, so publicly can able to access that things also. This is simple. And if you run the application, you can deploy an web server as well as you can run through the utility package just to use the jar files. You can make it some script and run in any places of servers, but here need to be JVM and JDK supported libraries. So main thing is that, and you also can track it the health of all APIs, but through the Spring Boot, through the Spring framework, you cannot consider it because of what is the performance, where is going performance low. Everything you can monitor through the Spring Boot. So this is the advantage, right? So that things I am expecting to you. And in database side, you have used JPA.
Yes.
So why we are using JPA?
So JPA, we can make use of that to, it's one way in which we can have the CRUD operations to the DB. We
Mm-hmm.
can either extend the JPA repository and make use of the features, or
Mm-hmm.
we can try using Hibernate also. And in Hibernate also, we will be able to connect to the DB and have the operations in place. Uh,
So you aware about the acid properties of this Spring framework? If suppose you are using the acid properties, transaction management, so how do you deal it?
So transactions, we can specify it in our configuration files. We
Mm.
can have the transaction manager defined there, and
Mm-hmm.
also we can try making use whenever we are having an update or insert query. We can specify it as a modifying query, and
Mm-hmm.
also if we need a particular set of operations to be in one transaction, we can mention it as transactional.
Okay. So, for example, you aware about declarative transaction and programmatical transactions? Suppose I am just coming in the traditional manner. No,
No.
no idea. Okay. In spring, suppose I will tell you, spring classes, suppose you are using singleton pattern, okay, in spring framework or spring boot. So that singleton class are thread safe or thread dependent.
Yes, that's it.
How?
So here
Which
you will see.
scenario? Which scenario is threat safe? Which scenario is threat safe? Not threat safe. Just I'm giving you a hint. Because of you are not writing any threat safety concept in your code, right?
Yeah.
So how do you tell this singleton class is threat safe? Okay. But by default, your Tomcat server is dealing as a threat safe. But your singleton class is not threat safe. So, Nithu, you ask anything else from us?
No.
Okay, thank you, giving your valuable time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.